In a very funny turnaround of events back in our country in Zimbabwe, self-proclaimed King Munhumutapa Chiminya arrested for disrespecting Mnangagwa. This is really quite very amazing. If you still remember, family, this self-proclaimed King Munhumutapa came out and there was a video out there where he claimed to be the one that is the chimbo, the knob carrier of the country and things like that. And he continued to say that those that are in power right now are not the ones that are supposed to be in power, and they don't have that chimbo or that knob carry or that indugu, whatever that it is. And he said quite a lot of stuff on many videos, claiming that the ancestral spirits of Zimbabwe, they do speak to him and he hears them, and he has been given directives to say what and to do what and things like that. And of course, there was another funny one, a video that I also saw where he was just getting drunk at some marketplace somewhere, and he was so drunk, holding a quart of beer in a very drunken state, and was just making a fool of himself. And people were asking themselves, is this that Munhumutapa that was saying that he is the one who is supposed to be actually at the center of the nation and things like that? But now we are hearing that the same self-proclaimed Munhumutapa has been arrested for disrespecting Mnangagwa. I thought this was going to happen. I'm not surprised when I've seen this, because I thought so even during that time. Remember, Mnangagwa is fighting to be the Munhumutapa himself. He has called himself Munhumutapa many times. And for somebody now to come up and say they are the Munhumutapa and that the one who is there, who happens to be Mnangagwa, is not. I knew that this was going to ruffle feathers with Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is a vindictive person, and he wants things all to himself. And if ever anybody would speak in that manner, there would be a big fight. There would be a big fight, yes. So the Zimbabwe reports here that Chiminya arrested, and it says the self-proclaimed King Munhumutapa, Timothy Chiminya, has been arrested on charges of undermining the authority of the president. He is at Harare Central Police Station, and that is the end of the story. It ends there. We have not been given much information on what really transpired there, or what are the developments after that arrest. So very, very exciting. The funny things that we continue to see are happening in Zimbabwe. So there is this fight for supremacy with Mnangagwa, of course, wanting to call himself Munhumutapa, but the Mutapa state is known. It has been for the Moyo totem, the Rose people, and for Mnangagwa, who is a Shumba, to call himself Munhumutapa, it's really neither here nor there. No, whatever that causes him to want to call himself Mutapa still puzzles many people up to now. I think Mnangagwa wants to just turn Zimbabwe into a monarch again and move it from being a constitutional democracy. This is why maybe he's trying to grasp on straws and trying to make himself some kind of a Munhumutapa, and then he can be handing over the chieftainship or the kingship from himself to his children, then his children to their own children, and something like that. That Mafidi dynasty that is coming up with. But everyone, of course, of those that know the African traditional culture of Zimbabwe, they know exactly the truth. They know the tribes of these people. They know who these people are. They've got a lineage, and they've got people that are still there. I remember there was once a time a complaint that came from the real family of Neanda Nyakaskana. They complained, especially during the time that Mnangagwa was making that statue. It's like Mnangagwa just got some family somewhere that he said, or rather he called the real family of Nyakaskana, with one chief who was there, bought a car by Mnangagwa and given money. And these were the people that were there during that installation of that statue there in Harare. And then there were some complaints that came from the real family that called themselves the real family of Mbuya Nehanda. And they said that they have been sidelined, and that some of the things that were done there were not in line with their own ways of doing things, and they were not consulted in many things and things like that. But eventually they went quiet, and this is expected in Zimbabwe. Everyone will know why they went quiet. it's common knowledge, right? Why they went quiet. It's obviously that it's obvious that they were visited and threatened by CIO or by ZANU-PF people or whatever, FARS or whatever people that are sent by Mnangagwa. It's known. But those complaints were there and they were really genuine. So you would find that there's quite a lot of things that Mnangagwa does, forcing people to just accept and do things according to what he wants to achieve himself. And yet it can be totally against the very same people. I still remember him speaking and saying that where the statue is where Mbuyane Handa used to drink water. There used to be a river there and things like that, and you would wonder where he gets all those facts and that historical background, where he gets it from, which is not written anywhere, which does not have any other people that substantiate it. Mnangagwa would just say it from his own mouth, from his own mind, and he wants to create a history for himself. So like ZANU-PF has done, they've started to create history for themselves, a history that is not known. And Mnangagwa is rewriting history, putting himself at the center of everything. And yet we know that if you look at the report of Chitepo and his assassination that was done by Kenneth Kaunda's Commission of Inquiry, you won't hear of Mnangagwa anywhere. You won't hear of Mnangagwa anywhere. And that's what tells you the truth of really what was happening then during the time of the war, and even going back there in the times of the struggle of the Chimurengas and the like. So the history that we have really is a distorted history, especially ZANU-PF rewriting history, changing history. The one said that Joyce Mjuru shot a chopper and grounded a chopper. And when they fought with her and she left ZANU-PF, they started to laugh at it, to mock her, and saying such kind of a person can never shoot a chopper. And Chris Mtwanga was one of the people who came out saying that. And yet it was really very strong in the days that Mame Mjuru was a force to reckon with in ZANU-PF. So you can tell that these guys are just a bunch of liars. They say this thing today, they say another thing tomorrow. They say sanctions are not an excuse. Tomorrow, when things are pressing, they come back again and start to cry about sanctions. So this is what is happening. So we are going to follow up on this King Munhumutapa Chiminya, who has been arrested, to see how far the story is going to get by. But when we hear more information about what really is happening on the ground, I will be available to give you updates. And this is the purpose of us being here, and for these platforms, Shatufa TV Productions and Live with Shatufa, to give you updates of what is happening in the nation, around the nation, as well as all over the world. Thank you so much, family, especially for supporting these two platforms. As always, support the platforms. Don't skip the adverts so that we can help the channels to grow. Otherwise, thank you so much and remain blessed till we meet again tomorrow with on the same platform with the different stories that will be happening in our nation and all over the world. You are blessed till we meet again, and shalom.